Hi, I'm Kanisha. I'm from the Global Moves Network and basically talk about all things global mobility, passport networking, job opportunities, remote working, the whole gambit. Today I'm talking about the best fintech hubs around the world for people from the global south, particularly professionals from the global south. When people think about fintech, a lot of times they think California, Silicon Valley, New York, maybe the Netherlands, places like that. But those are harder places to penetrate for people like Africans, Caribbean people, some people from different Asian countries, basically the global south. You can feel locked out of those spaces. But today I'm sharing with you four top emerging fintech hubs that you can use to network, create opportunities, get jobs, basically expand your portfolio, your network, and the people that you can eventually use to kind of propel you to where you would like to be. I want to make something a bit clear about this list. It's not just about this is the country I'm going to move to tomorrow. This is about being strategic and positioning yourself in the best spaces with the people who can be the most helpful to you, your goals, your future, etc. Okay, and the first one I'm going to start with is Chile and particularly Santiago. It is ranked number 19 on the Global Entrepreneur Index, and that's very important. Top 20 of 137 countries, I believe. That is pretty impressive. What's even more impressive is they have a government-backed ecosystem, a startup ecosystem that backs global startups. So this is a space where you can really the infrastructure is already there for people from other countries, not just people from Chile, but people from basically like global people with opportunities from around the world can really find their footing in Santiago. This is a huge space for fintech. Over 1,500 startups, I believe. And like I said, these are global. So the space is really there to get in and really create something incredible for yourself. Okay, so the next one I will mention is Brazil, in particularly Sao Paulo. This city has the most fintech startups in all of Latin America. So far, they've raised about 9.5 billion and this is since 2021. So there's been, movements. There's a lot that's been happening in this particular space. What's important to note as well, Amazon, Uber, Spotify, I believe as well, use it as a regional base. That says a lot. That says that there is stability there and growth, and countries, big corporations don't just move to these spaces just for funsies. So it has a lot of opportunity, and I believe it's a big one to check out if you're also from the global south. What's important to note as well is that Brazil also has a digital nomad visa opportunity. And they're on the lower end of the amount of money that they require, in my opinion. I recommend also doing your own research when you're looking to get into these spaces. But that alone, is a huge thing. And I want to point out the reason why I do videos like this is to get people to think strategically, to think outside of the typical countries in North America, US and Canada, in Europe. Think outside the box, because what you will find is that the road to outside the box, the less traveled path, sometimes has the best opportunities. The next location is Bengaluru in India, currently called the Silicon Valley of India. One thing of note is MasterCard is actually currently investing 1 billion US dollars into this space. That says a lot. One thing you cannot deny about India is that there's a lot of talent. So there's talent density in that city. And I think it's very important to know, like, when you want to connect with different people, going where there's high quality talent, and professionals, you can't beat it. If you're from the global south and you're a young professional, you do not have to go to the west. You can stay, you should go where the money is flowing. And I think that's what this entire video is about. Where is the money and how can you access some of it? The final country is Lithuania. And yes, I mentioned this is a video for people from the global south and weak passport holders, but this one has a strategic play. So basically, Lithuania is currently ranked, I believe, number 14 in ease of doing business. And that says a lot because you don't want a lot of barriers of entry when you are trying to get into a particular location. So this is the point I wanted to bring up, is that Lithuania has a lot of conferences. They're also considered one of the highest approval rates in the Schengen zone in Europe. That means if you can connect with a conference, you boost your opportunity to get into Europe through Lithuania. So this is what I talk about. This is what I mean when I talk about strategy. That this is where it comes into play. Where are you trying to go? How are you going to get there? If you're a young professional, going through a conference is one of the best ways. Even better, volunteering to get there, to pay less, using your skills, your time. The future of fintech isn't just about where the money is. It's about where you can actually enter. Never forget that. It's who will actually accept you. If you hold a weak passport, you need to think in layers. Entry point, network, income, and leverage. So those are my 4 areas that I think are the best opportunities for entry for people from the global south. If you're in fintech, if you're a startup, if you're considering a startup, if you want partners, if you want to be a partner, these are places that I highly suggest you look into and grow your network, get access to funding, things of that nature. Hope you found it helpful. If you did, of course, subscribe, like, the usual, and thanks for watching.